Hi everyone, we are going to continue to work on the project, and step by step we're going to create different test cases, and I will show you how to configure them, how to organize them, and how you can basically manage it. So the first test that we're going to create is a login test. I chose one application that it's a dummy automation application that everybody can get access to. The name is sourcedemo.com. It's provided by SauceLab. SauceLab is very great tool for parallel testing, and maybe in the future I'm gonna create a video how to set it up with your current framework, but as of now we're gonna use their demo project because they have different type of user. They have login functionality that not all application have, and then we're gonna work on other stories. So as you understood, the first story is logging. And I would say sometimes people think that it's unbelievable simple story, but usually people spend time on that because besides just positive tests, when you can log in, you also should test negative tests. You need to test with different types of user. Sometimes passwords, credentials, like they have some particular requirements. Let's say it should have capital letter, it should have special character, it should have a number. So all those are additional test cases, and at this moment we are not going to go so much deep because we right now have different types of users and we have password. So our main functionality that we're gonna automate today is we should be able to log in with all those types of users, and also we need to try one negative scenario when user cannot log in due to mistake inside username or inside password. So we're gonna do all that today, and let's begin. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you need to get locators for this page, and we need to do all the activities with the Cypress. So I'm gonna try to put on two screen. Maybe it's gonna look very small. So right now we have on one side our UI application, and on left side we have our framework. The first thing to do, I'm not going to delete those folders yet because we might use them as an examples for future reference, and we're going to create one folder for this application and we're going to call it exactly the same. So we're going to create a directory and I will call it South demo. And since it's directory, we don't need to add anything else. And inside this demo, inside this directory, we're going to create a file. That's how you are creating test classes. If you were working before with Java, let's say Selenium, you were creating classes, and inside classes you had a test. But Cypress, they normally call not classes, they call it spec. So we're going to create a new spec which will contains our tests, and in order to specify that it is going to be a spec, the file where we're going to store our tests, we need to add sci.gc. So let's call it login, and we're going to do .sci.gc. So this will automatically declare a spec file. You can understand that CY it means Cypress and GC JavaScript. So it's the framework understand this is Cypress file where we're gonna store our tests. And I personally love page object model, and I'm implementing page object model even within Cypress framework. Therefore, I'm going to follow same strategy in potential tests. But the first thing first, we're going to just start to write a test, and then we're going to move to our locators. So the first thing what we need to do, we need to create a describe block. So when you're creating a describe block, it's like you are declaring the class name. So it's literally has similar idea, and we're gonna call it, let's say, logging functionality. Okay, so logging functionality, and inside the parentheses we're gonna continue to work on our describe block. So this part means function. So this total thing is going to be like a one function where we're going to store our tests. If we're going to declare a test, we are not going to write like annotation test and same as we were doing with test in G or JUnit. We're going to do like we will create it block. It's literally called it block. So you're writing it and you're adding parentheses and you are giving a name. So we will say login, let's say positive test. So login positive test, and inside we also need to pass a function. So yeah, so it is working, and if you see we don't have any errors, and right now we basically can start, just pass the information, pass all the data inside our class. So the first command, I think you understand, we should go into our website. So the command from Cypress is sci.visit. All the commands from Cypress gonna use a beginning is sci dot, and you can use other commands that inside our Cypress that's provided basically by Cypress. And when we're opening parentheses, we're gonna pass the URL of our website. So we need to use a terminal from your framework. So we are doing npx Cypress open. It's opening this page. We're going to Chrome, and you can see here our folder with our spec. So let's try to click on it, and you can see that it successfully passed. The page is open, so that's great. It's a good sign.